Come, come, let's hear the moral story. Come, come, let's hear the moral story.
Today, we are diving into a classic morality tale. And let me tell you, it's a pretty intense story about desire, consequences, and what happens when wanting something beautiful goes horribly, horribly wrong. Let's step into the world of the Crimson Dance. And just like that, with one simple storybook sentence, we meet Karen. But you gotta pay close attention here, because this one line sets up the entire story. It's that clash, the clash between being a poor little girl and having this deep love for beautiful things. That's the gap where all the trouble is gonna start.
So, how did this all begin? Well, in this first part, we're going to look at the very seeds of Karen's desire and get introduced to the one object that's going to seal her fate, a simple pair of shoes. What's interesting is that her love for pretty things isn't really shown as a flaw, not at first. It's just who she is. She's a girl who finds a little bit of joy in beauty, even when her own life is really plain.
This is our starting line. The shoes aren't anything special, just simple cloth. But to Karen, they mean the world. And that's a super important detail because it shows us the innocent start of a desire that's about to spiral way, way out of control.
All of a sudden, Karen's entire life just flips. She goes from having nothing to a life of comfort. You'd think that would be enough, right? But as we're about to see, getting what you need doesn't always stop you from wanting so much more. And there it is, the moment of temptation. Notice the words, bright red, dancing shoes. These aren't just for getting from point A to point B. They're about performance, about being seen. And this isn't just a casual wish. The story says she wanted them badly. This is the little spark that's about to set everything on fire. Okay, so this brings us to the real turning point of the story. It's not just about wanting shoes anymore. Now it's about a choice. A choice that puts her growing vanity head-to-head with her faith.
I mean, this line is everything. It's the absolute heart of the problem. That's the definition of vanity, isn't it? Her focus totally shifted from the purpose of her trip, going to church, to her appearance on the way there. The shoes just became more important than the destination.
So this isn't some innocent mistake. This is a choice. A full-on act of defiance. She knows the rules, she knows what's expected of her, but that desire for the shoes is so strong that she decides to break the rules on purpose.
And boom, the consequence hits immediately. This is where the story takes a really sharp, sinister turn. The very things she wanted so much are now the things that are taking control of her.
So that one decision, it throws us right into the story's horrifying punishment. Her need for attention is about to get twisted into something public, something she can't escape, and something absolutely agonizing.
The way this is written is so simple, and that's what makes it so chilling. There's no way out, no arguing. She has completely lost control to the very symbol of her own vanity. And think about that irony for a second. She wanted dancing shoes, and now she has no choice but to dance forever.
And this punishment is just relentless. This isn't some quick little lesson. It's a non-stop, torturous journey that drags her away from the church, through the town, into a dark forest, and through the night, without even a single moment to rest.
Can you just imagine how desperate she must have been? She's basically a prisoner in her own body, being forced to move against her will. She's begging for help, but it's useless, because the thing controlling her is her own choice, made real. The shoes are totally deaf to her cries.
So how in the world does this nightmare end? Well, the story now builds to its grim climax, where the price for her freedom is honestly just as shocking as the punishment itself. Wow. I mean, that is just a brutal image. The solution isn't gentle. To be free from her vanity, she needs something literally, violently severed from her. The story really doesn't pull any punches. It shows that the only way out is through a truly terrible sacrifice. And this
This might be the most haunting part of the whole story. Even after they're cut off, the vanity, the desire, the red shoes themselves, they just keep going. They literally dance away, as if to say that temptation and pride exist out in the world all on their own, just waiting for the next person.
And that brings us to the final act. The physical torture is over, but Karen's journey is far from done. Now she has to fight the internal battle, the one for redemption and real peace.
So what the story is really telling us is that vanity isn't just about looking good. It's about a desire that becomes so powerful, so all-consuming, that it makes you completely forget about your purpose, your beliefs, and what actually matters.
And here it is, the moment of real change. It's not just about getting the shoes off. It's about understanding why they started dancing in the first place. She finally takes responsibility and sees that her own pride was the real source of all her suffering.
And you'll notice, her path to getting better isn't some magic fix. It's a process. The story actually lays out the steps for us. It all starts with regret, then seeking forgiveness, then actually changing your behavior, and only then do you finally get to find peace.
And this is how it all resolves. The story doesn't end with her getting more stuff. It ends with her heart actually changing. The peace she finds is so much more valuable than any pair of beautiful shoes. The real satisfaction, it turns out, came from inside, not from a shop window. And that really brings us to the big, lingering question the story leaves us with. It's easy to look at Karen and see her mistake, right? But the story is really pushing us to look at ourselves. What are our red shoes? What are the beautiful, distracting things that we chase so hard that we start to lose sight of our own path, our own values, our own destination? It's a heavy thought to end on.